So hi everyone. So welcome to the new session of creating an AI-enabled parking software. So in the last session we have discussed about how we can create an XJS application and how we can maintain a proper folder structure and how we can get started. And in this session we will discuss about how we can create a parking layout and templates. So why we need this kind of templates in our application, because we all know that all parking areas will have different layouts. I mean, in shopping malls there will be very large parking lots, and in also they will vary in shape. So in order to incorporate all kind of parking lots, we will use these kind of templates in our application. So for that we will create in the SDK folder, we will create a new folder for parking, and inside that we will create a new folder that is type, and inside type folder we will create uh, a new type file for using our templates. So why we are using this kind of type file? Because whenever a user upload a new parking layout, it should follow the rules that we have mentioned in this type file. So so for making things clear, we will create a new type file. Okay, so for that, inside type folder we'll create so let's rename this as types. Okay, and inside types folder we'll create a new template that is parking template dot ts. And inside that, so first of all we'll create a new type, export type parking area. Okay, so in parking area, um, so there will be uh, first of all there will be a parking ID. So this is for individually identifying each parking area. Okay, and then there will be a parking name, so that also will be a, sorry, so that also will be a string, and then levels. So why we are using levels? So we all seen that in most of the shopping malls there will be 7 to 8 levels of parking areas. So in order to handle such cases we are using levels here. So for that, export type park level. Okay, and we will give this park level as here, and we need to give a list here because there will be multiple levels of parking, right? So we need to give it as a list. And inside park level, what all things can be there? So first of all, that is a will be a level ID, so that will be a string. And then we will use sector, so sector will be a string. So what is sector? That's actually uh, because there will be in each levels there will be different, we need to split each levels into different sectors. That's for handling the parking slots very easily, because if we handle all the slots in a level together all together, that will be very difficult for us to manage. So we'll split into different sectors and we'll manage each sector individually. So there will be a sector and then rows. Okay, and so what all will be the attributes in each row? So for that we'll create a new type, export type park row, and inside this there will be a row ID, and then there will be and then there will be a mode, and then there will be slots container, and we will give the type park row here. So the slots container is actually, so we are calling a row because so each row will be having two slot containers, and there will be a way in between two containers for the cars to get in and get out. So we need to create a new type, that is export type park slot container. So inside, and we need to give this container here. Here we need to give container ID as string, and then the slots. Export type park slot. So for slot we will be having attributes like slot ID, so that will be a string, and then we need to give an option like VIP reserved, because in some of parking lots there will be some slot that will be reserved for VIP parking, so we need to give that as an option. So VIP reserved, that will be a boolean, like it may be true or false, and then slot size. So slot size we are giving because some slots may be for car parking and some for heavy vehicles and some may be for bike parking, so we need to define uh, the slot size. So that will be string, and we need to give park slot as here. Okay, so this will be our parking area types. So whenever a user upload a new parking layout, it should follow the rules that we have specified in this template. Okay, so now let's create a new folder inside parking, that is parking layouts, and inside this folder we'll create a JSON file, uh, sample parking.json. So we'll create a new parking layout in this JSON file, and it should follow the rules that we have mentioned in this template file. So first of all, we need to create a new object, and inside that we'll create parking ID, because we have mentioned parking ID here, so we need to give a parking ID. So for example, let's give park 001, and then there should be a parking name, uh, sample parking, and then we need to define the levels. If our parking area has only one level, then just give the that level only, but if we have having multiple levels of parking, like 7 to 8 levels of parking, then we need to give entire levels here. So inside this we need to give uh, so in this example we are only giving one level of parking, only there will be only single level. So inside that level ID, so let's say this is the ground floor, so let's give it a 0, and then the next one is sector. So this is sector A, and then we need to define the rows. So inside row we need to give a row ID. So row ID will be like so this is a car parking area. So let's give car, and the level is 0. Sector is A. So let's give row ID like this, car 0A, and then uh, mode. So let's give it as an empty for now. We will discuss the why we are giving this mode option later when we are progressing the development of our application. And then slots container. So inside slot container we need to give the container ID. So this will be car 0A, and this will be the top container. So let's give it as top, and then we need to define the each slots. So in new list, and inside this list we need to give each slot details. So slot ID, that is car 0A top 01, and we need to create multiple slots here. Okay, so we are having 3 slots in this container, and so let's assume that the second slot is for only for parking VIP car. So we will give our option VIP reserved. Okay, so let it be true. So in this slot we can only park. This is only reserved for VIPs. Okay, so this is an example for sample parking layout. This is how we need to upload a parking layout into our application. So this will be the template. So whatever we upload to application, this should follow all the rules that we have mentioned in this template file. Okay, so in next session we will see how we can use this template in our application, or how we can load the parking area map in our application based on this template. Okay, so let's see in next session. Thanks for